So today I'm going to show you a little contraption that I built. Let me see if I can get out of view. I have a very not to code and very unsafe little mini display for some of my ceiling fans. Now, ignore the level, that's not powered, that's just sitting there. These are 3 of my fans, and I am able to power them on the floor. This is how some collectors power their ceiling fans, if they have a whole display. However, certain ones like Vintage Fans and more, he actually has switches and breakers put in place, okay? Now, 3 is the most. I could do 4. I could put 1 here, and I could put probably 2 here. But I would be worried about 2 things. 1, an arc or a fire, and 2, blowing a breaker, because all of these are plugged into 1 line. So 3 is the most I'm going to go, and because I'm out of wire. So how does this work? Well, what we have here is a surge protector. Plugged into the surge protector is a swag kit for a ceiling fan. You can see the chain. It runs up here. Ignore this. This is not part of it. This swag kit is wired in to this ceiling fan. So this ceiling fan now has power. Connected to that are 2 sets of lead wires, a black and a white, that then connect to a second set that run over and connect to the wires on this fan. Ignore the blue wire, we're not using that. Same thing over here. We have another set of white wires that is plugged in there, and black wires come over here, and they plug into this little set and go straight into this fan. I'm not using red wires or blue wires for this. So the fans on the display, this one right here is a 52-inch SMC A52. Unornate, typical laundromat fan with cane, as you can see, 3-speed, reversible. Got some bearing noise. There's a little tag. The middle one is a Hunter Continental 44-inch fan in antique brass. This fan is actually a pretty decent performer. It's missing the mounting bracket and the light shades though. And then it's got the red underside of the blades. And then over here, we have a vintage Emerson Sears turn of the century style fan. Has 1 bent blade. This is a 4-speed. You can see it's got the vents and the stencil under here. That light kit is aftermarket. This one's non-reversible, and this is 4-speed. So, that's my little ghetto fan display. So, I'm sure you want to see it run, so we're going to do that. Alright, now I believe the fans are on their low speed, so I'm going to zap it real quick. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do, because this Emerson fan is a 4 and the other 2 are a 3-speed, I'm actually going to demonstrate this one on the low speed by itself, and then we're going to use the medium low as the low speed since it's closer to the low on the other fans. So here's the Emerson on factory 4th speed. Apologies for that, I had a technical difficulty. Here's the Emerson on factory low speed. This does have a bent blade so it wobbles when it is on high. Obviously, there is not much to see with that. There we go. So that is the factory low. I'm actually not going to use that in the demonstration because it's slower than the other 2 are. So, low on that, and low on that. And yeah, these are close, but they don't touch, I made sure. And here is low. They're all going in the forward direction, although it's going to look like reverse because you're looking at them from the top. Here is low. As you can see, the Hunter and the Emerson have pretty much similar low speeds, although that's more of a medium low on the Emerson. The SMC low is slightly slower, but that's because it's a cheaper fan. Alright, we've seen low speed. Now we're going to go up to medium speed, which I can't do while they're running unless I had super long pull chains. But this gives you an opportunity to see a 0 to high, which you wouldn't otherwise see. Alright. Medium, medium, medium high, or medium, depending on how you want to count it. Here is medium. You might be able to see just a little bit. The Emerson does move a little. The Hunter is the only one out of these three that does not move a single inch, and I think that's because it's completely balanced. Although, 2 out of the 3 of these have been hung on the ceiling before, the Hunter has not, and they both wobbled when they were on the ceiling. Alright, that is a pretty good medium speed. My feet are getting very cold. And yes, I am going to do high speed. So that's our medium. Not going to do high speed for too long because the SMC wobbles like crazy. Mainly because it's sitting on a plastic bucket, which, by the way, the reason it's sitting on a plastic bucket is because when it's on the floor, the blades hit the floor. They're too close to the bottom, so it's on this. And to raise the wiring up. See, it's unbalanced, so it does wobble a little. Oop. All right. Here we go. Here is the almighty high. The Hunter is the only one out of these 3 that is completely silent. Here we go. Alright, now let's actually get to high speed. And no, the SMC is not particularly fast, if you're wondering. But there you go. That noise is the SMC. Out of the 3 of these, the Hunter is the fastest, but it's also smaller. It's 44 inches, not 52. The Emerson is the slowest, but it also pushes a ton of air. As you can see, it's not spinning quite fast, and the SMC is between them. So that is the high-speed demonstration. Now I will slow them down. Actually, I'll cut them off. We can get a spin down. The Emerson's going to stop first, there's no question. Then probably the SMC. I could have reversed the blade so that the cane was up on the SMC and the stencil was up on the Emerson and the red side was up on the Hunter, but I'm too lazy to do that. Plus, the Hunter might actually be installed here in a couple days, and the red side is what needs to show. The Emerson's taking longer than I thought. If you can't tell, that's the bent blade. You can probably tell in the camera. It's bent way up and way over. Don't know how that happened. That's how I got it. All 3 of these fans were used, obviously. The SMC was a Facebook Marketplace find. It was free. The Hunter was a thrift store find. It was like $6, but it was 75% off that day, so it was $2. And the Emerson was $10 off Facebook Marketplace. That SMC on the end is one of the actually I think it might be the first ceiling fan I ever bought just for collecting, or got just for collecting. That was bought in probably July of 2018, maybe August. The Hunter was bought in January of 2019. The Emerson was bought very recently, like January, February. Might have been December, I don't know. All of these are stock the way they came except the Emerson. The Emerson had a single light globe that did not have a pull chain, so I took it off and put a 5-way on, but took the 5th socket out. And the Hunter I bought from the thrift store was the same day and same area. It was the same thrift store on the same day where I got that Westminster 5-minute fan that I just threw away. It's a piece of shit. That was the same day as this. So there we go. Almost all stopped. I would love to do more fans in this. The problem is, realistically, you can only do fans that are either down rod or fans that have some sort of, because a hugger fan has to sit upside down, and some huggers you can do that with, but some of them can't sit upside down. This can obviously sit upside down. It's on the light, that's on the light, that's just on the switch housing. But then there's fans like the K55 Emerson that I bought used, the J-hook one. That can't be demoed because it won't sit flat for some reason. I would have loved to include the level in this, which is the one right here, which does work. The only issue with it is that it's a wall control fan, so it would only be higher off, and the light kit would always be on unless I wire it otherwise. And I don't have enough extra wire. So that right there is the demonstration of my ridiculousness. I would like to stress that this is not up to code, and if you're actually going to do this on the ceiling, don't, first of all. If you're actually going to do this on the ceiling, you should be using individual extension cords for each fan. Maybe 2 fans to a swag kit, but I wouldn't do more than that. The swag kits are not... This particular swag kit, too, is old. It's from probably 1979 because I got it with the K55 Emerson. It's not particularly safe. Not that the cord gets hot or anything, but it's just a very thin cord. So I would... This is like the gyro air cord. It's powering this much on that cord, but it's a smaller cord than this. So that's a demonstration of 3 of my, well, a lot, ceiling fans. Probably 5 more that aren't included that I could have. The issue is... And the reason I'm so afraid to use other extension cords is because the swag kit, even though the wires look the exact same, they're not the same. They're not reversible. And so thankfully, when I got the Emerson fan, the wires were still hooked in. It was just unplugged from the wall, obviously. So I was able to put little pieces of tape on the end that say B and W because they look identical. But either way, that is my little... ceiling fan display of sorts in my basement here. Thank you for watching. Feel free to subscribe and click like if you like what you see, and follow me on the web, wix.com/theelevatorworld/fans. Bye-bye.